Hello Leo, and welcome to my channel Love It or More. This is going to be your forecast for January 2022 for Sun, Moon and Rising in Leo. Just to apologize for the late uploading of these videos for this month. I've been nursing my mum who's got shingles at the moment, so it's kind of put me a little behind. So what I do usually is a 20-second sound bowl just to tune into the energies. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if for those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Okay, and I'll be doing a Celtic Cross for today's reading. I'll be cutting the deck, but I'll be getting jumpers out the pack for any clarifying cards. Any cards I feel needs a little extra depth. Right, so please be mindful that the energies are non-gender specific and take what resonates, leave the rest behind. All right, deep breath in and exhale. All right, Leo. I feel strangely very calm. I've just done Scorpio's reading, and just before that I was feeling very happy, but for you I feel very calm. So let's see how that is going to play out in your reading. Right, let's see what January is bringing your way. What energies are supporting you or challenging you? Okay, Leo. Whoop. Let's two on the floor there. I won't be taking the jumpers, so I'm not even going to look at them. All right, your current energy at the moment is the Lovers. Ooh, quite a lot of passion, maybe some choices needing being made. Very, very nice. In fact, I've just done, you saw how I shuffled that card. I've just done the Scorpio's reading, and that had the Lovers card in the exact same position, which is interesting. Right, crossing energy, Knight of Cups. More love, more love. Oh, good Lord. It could even be, because sometimes you see traditionally the Lovers card had a third person. Sometimes it talks about a third party. And then, of course, we've got this Knight coming in. So it could be that while you're feeling the love and feeling that excitement, you could have other admirers on your doorstep. Okay, or it could just be the same person. For those of you who are not in a relationship or that doesn't vibe with, it's anything that's making you feel really passionate, so that your heart space is kind of very, very excited, but also your emotional body and your solar plexus is also engaged, so you're feeling the kind of real excitement moving forward. Right, your conscious energy at the moment, Nine of Cups. Very much aware that you're getting what you wished for and what you hoped for. This is celebration, okay? This is one card before ultimate fulfillment and happiness as it relates to the Ten of Cups. But being the Nine of Cups, this is what you've been hoping for. And you, because it's coming up in this position here of your conscious thoughts, I really like that, because what that's saying to me is that you are in full acknowledgement and full appreciation and full gratitude for receiving what you hoped for. So it's really nice. Okay, your subconscious thoughts are the Ace of Swords. Very nice again. Oh, my head's tingling. So the Swords is all about air, right? It's all about the mental body, the intellect. This is sometimes talks about that truth serum, okay? Truth gun, seeing something from a whole new perspective. And so beneath the surface, it's like you're picking up intuitively on new, it's almost like, it is almost like a paradigm shift, whereby you're starting to see the clarity and the vision, the third eye activation coming in, because on a very intuitive level, so it is third eye, but you're starting to see it play out in your reality, and you're starting to put two and two together in a totally different way, something that you've not quite seen before. And perhaps it's to do with this love, right? If this love of excitement and passion, the thing that you hoped for, you're now seeing it with clearer eyes. Your past energy, the sun, very, very, very nice. So that's why you're in this powerful position now, because the sun shone for you. It lifted your spirit. You had the vibrancy, you had the illumination to bring by this Ace of Swords over here. And that is basically set you up for this good time here. So I've got to say, it looks like things are pretty good for you right now as you start the month of January. We'll see how things pan out, but there we go. Right. Your future energy is the King of Swords. So I do feel like this is somebody else, not necessarily your energy. If it was your energy, it would be advised to check all your nitty-gritty details. Anything as it relates to paperwork, anything as it relates to communications backwards and forwards, anything, any legal documentation, any contracts, anything like that, better to make sure you check it, double check it, and triple check it. Make sure you have all the evidence that you need. As it relates to somebody else, this would be an, oh God, okay, sorry, informant. I don't know why that's plopped into my head. Would never really say that word ever. Informant. It could also be a government official, someone of a high standing authorities figure, anyone like that, someone where you have to kind of provide information to, answer to, justify to. So again, check all your details, but it does feel like this is coming up for you. And we're going to clarify, because I want to know why. I want to know why. But there's some, it feels like there's some sort of ruling, because you've got those two swords that are really jumping out, those single swords. It's like what you're clearly seeing now impacts this next stage that you're on. It could also be, okay, no. Right, so your attitude at the moment, very nice. Now this is your card, absolutely, because you are fire, Leo. Ace of Wands. You are really feeling the passion. You've got the sun. Look at this. I just have to put this together. This is so cool. Look at the yellow in that. And you are yellow, Leo, right? Look at all that fire. Look at all that. Fire is represented as spirit, okay? That solar plexus energy, that va-va-voom, that enthusiasm, that charisma. The sun is absolutely shining for you. That is for certain. But this talks about, can you create a project, a new idea, a new spark of innovation to move forward? And that's your attitude at the moment. You are treating everything at the moment with this energy, this wonderful energy, which is pretty pretty amazing, considering we're only in January and we've just finished off a very difficult year. Well, I don't want to say a difficult year, but 2021 reduces to a 5, and in numerology a 5 is challenge, obstacles, learning, great lessons learned, because it's midway between the 1 and the 10, right? So last year would have seen a lot of challenges for many people. I don't care who you are or what you do. Very, very loads of challenges. And if you're the kind of person that can flow easily with ever-changing circumstances, then you were slightly better off. But for those, the rest of the population, including myself, who are not very easy with change and unexpected situations, it was a challenge. And so to start off January with this va-va-voom happening for you, the spark of creation, this is like an epiphany moment, right? You've got two aces here, really exciting. This is passion. So this passion could even relate to this love that's coming for you. And if it's someone that you've been with before, it could be a reignition. But it's something, the word that really pops to mind is ignition, ignite, igniting your flame. And so anything that's igniting your flame, that is your attitude at the moment. That's the thing that you're going to follow, and you're going to find the fuel to do so. So if it's a creative project, if it's a new job, if it's a new move, if it's anything that's new and exciting, it's igniting your flame, and you're treating everything with that, which is really amazing. Quite difficult to maintain as well over the course of the month, but there we go. Wow, Leo, this is amazing. Right, your environmental factors is the High Priestess. So this is you're picking up on all sorts of intuitive hits. You're picking up on all sorts of things that are beyond the veil. So for example, the way it's like not only is spirit around you heavily, I mean, spirit is always around you, but you are sensing it clearer. So, and as it relates, because it's in your environmental factor in that position over there, if it's about the people around you, you can just intuitively, you pick up on what they're almost telepathically thinking. You're seeing everything so clearly with that third eye activation over there. So it's like you're so in tune with spirit and the flow of things, and your psychic abilities are cramming up big time, that it's almost like you're in this dreamlike quality, particularly with those two together. I mean, good Lord, I almost feel nauseated. It's a lot to be up there, but you're both down here as well. Spirit, 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 and you're seeing things very clearly. Right, your hopes and fears as it relates to Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the fear of this is wondering if you have enough resources to continue going. Also the fear of self-protection, because he keeps all his pentacles close to his chest, just like you would say you keep your cards close to your chest. So there's a fear in with regards to that, but the desire is also to ensure that you are self-protected and to ensure that you are conserving your resources. It doesn't necessarily mean finances, but the things that you have, the ideas that you have. So for example, if you've got this new idea, I wouldn't tell anyone about it, okay? I'll keep it close to your heart until you can bring it to the Two of Wands or the Three of Wands, the next stages. Don't give it away. So I think there's a desire to do this, right? To keep it close to your chest, even if it is a romantic situation over here. Keep it close to your chest, but there's also the fear that you don't want anyone to see it or find out. That's what I'm picking up on. So I don't know how that's going to resonate with you, but we will get some clarifiers. And then the outcome for the month, Eight of Swords. Okay, so Eight of Swords is getting a little bit stuck in the headspace. So perhaps you've been opened up to the degree that you're picking up on so much, it's a lot to digest. This particular card, she feels a little trapped. Her hands are bound. She can't see clearly because she is blindfolded, and she is surrounded by swords, which feels a little like a prison. But none of the swords are touching her, and she can just use the sword to actually cut open the chains if she needs. Okay, so she's able to get herself out of this, but it does feel to me like this opening up of the third eye over here, and all this energy driving forward, and then as you flowing with that kind of, it's like following your bliss, you know. So as you're flowing with the momentum of the excitement that is all the result of the sun shining up and getting what you've hoped for, all that excitement has allowed you to pick up on so much information, invisible information, the thoughts that people have, the vibes that people have, the feelings that you get from certain things. You're just picking up on so many intuitive hits. I feel like it's a little bit of an overload come the end of the month. So maybe some grounding work is needed here to just bring it down. It'll be interesting if any of the oracle cards talk about grounding. So let us go a little bit further into this for you, Leo. I'm pretty excited for you though. I mean, having known that coming near the end of the month, you might be a little bit overloaded, like analysis paralysis, then you can perhaps do the tricks now to maintain that energy in a more sort of steady pace, so you don't kind of burn out. Because I do feel like there's a feel like a burnout quality over there in the headspace, because everything's just been activated and opened up and like, wow, okay, it's explosive energy, which is really nice. but you don't want to get burnt out by the end of the month. All right. So let's clarify the Lovers card, please, for Leo. Yes. Lovers again. Well, Ace of Wands and Three of Wands. Okay, so definitely brand new start. And sometimes there's a bit of a lag here, a bit of a wait here, but that's what you're very, very excited for. So it could be that, so it's either two things, or it's one thing that is the two things, or either, right? So if it's a relationship, there's a lot of passion there forward. Okay, a lot of passion forward, because we've got the Ace of Wands, brand new excitement. Okay, if it is a job, a position that makes you move now with the heart because you feel emotionally fulfilled as you work forward for this. Okay, because wands do typically mean kind of work, passion, anything that you're passionate about. So if it's a new passion project, that could also be it. It could also be someone that you are maybe involved with romantically, as well as doing an idea with them. Okay, so it could be either or a combination of it, because it's coming up twice. So I do feel that there is something to do with the passion project, something to do with some sort of creativity that is pretty strong for you. It's just a question of whether you are experiencing a kind of a very passionate encounter with somebody as well, right? I'm interested in this King of Swords here. Why is the King of Swords here, please? Can we clarify the King of Swords? Why is the King of Swords here, please, for Leo? Who is this person? See, I'm just noticing now, it looks like that's Saturn in the background there, right? It looks like that to me. Now, Saturn as a planet represents the system, the way things are done, you know, hardworking, confines of situations. So it feels King of Swords does represent that, doing it the way it's supposed to be done, making sure everything is kosher, crossing every T and dotting every I. Yep, right. King of Swords, we have Page of Wands, Three of Wands, and Nine of Wands. Again, lots of fire coming in, a lot of Wands energy coming in. So it's like you get the go-ahead, you get the help from this person to instigate this new, let's just call it a passion project. It could be a new job, it could be a new love affair, it could be a new home, anything that's really exciting you at the moment, and you will know what that is for you. It seems like initially you get the go-ahead and the green light for it, which is great, but then there is a period of delay, okay, awaiting. And sometimes perhaps he is encouraging you or asking you to do a little bit more groundwork, a little bit more research regarding your situation, so that, because the 3 is about implementing and putting it also into creativity, because it's a 3, which is a creative number, catalyst number, but it's not quite the 4, so it's not quite set in stone, it's not quite stable yet. So I do feel like you get the go-ahead, but then you need it takes a wee bit of time, right? You've got a bit more groundwork to do, but then it's a bit disappointing that it jumps straight to that wounded warrior of the 9 of Wands over there. Okay, so it may feel like you might come against a bit of frustration, or it's almost something like you're giving your heart and everything, your blood, sweat and tears into this, but it's causing that, I'm getting that word depleted again. It feels like you're burning out again, because a wounded warrior comes back from battle and he's done all his fighting on the battlefield, and he's been wounded, and he returns back for a breather before he picks up that 10th wand and then carries it to the finish line, right, with the 10 of Wands. Now I would say that, so this is a kind of, it feels quite exhausting, this energy over here, something that you put all your love and heart into it, but even if it's a relationship as well, but it's a bit tiring now. So remember, it is a 9, meaning it's the end of that cycle. Okay, you've just got the 10 to get through that final push after this, but I do feel like it is a bit exhausting. So if you're having to answer up to anyone, if you're receiving expert advice from somebody, this could even be represented as a type of kind of father figure or mentor. Okay, you've definitely got the go ahead, which is great, but you will be there will be a bit of a delay, and I think that delay might, it's like when you're operating on this energy over here of like woof woof woof, very exciting, very charged up and full of ignition, right? Sometimes it's difficult to maintain that, because a fire can quickly light and ignite, and it can quickly burn out. Okay, where something like water is a little bit slower, it can move, it's fluid. Air is also very, very sort of fast and airy, but Pentacle is very slow. So it does feel like if you're not careful, you might burn out a little, you might burn out a wee bit with that 9 of Wands. So I would do anything to just try and kind of keep up that passionate momentum and not allow anything that comes from this King of Swords to get you down. I know it's easier said than done, but it does feel like you may feel a bit bruised by the end of it. Okay, perhaps, so say for example you submitted a paper to, say for example you're in university and you've submitted your dissertation to your lecturer, and he comes back and says, oh, that's great, that's great, that's great. Okay, but it takes him a while before he brings back his notes for you, and then you go back on it and it's taking you a lot of time, and then you send him the next draft and he goes, oh, that's great, that's great, that's great. And then he comes back with like the whole dissertation riddled in red ink, meaning, and he's dissected and pulled apart your passion, and you feel depleted and you've kind of lose your va-va-voom a little bit. That's the kind of energy. I mean, use that, it's an example of what I mean here, but you can very easily lose your momentum if you stay powered up to that extreme level. It's a wonderful place to be, but you don't want to burn out too quickly. Okay, fire burning out. Yeah, okay, cool. So let us look at this High Priestess. I love this. Why is a High Priestess here, please, for Leo? Fact of the matter is that whatever you're heading up on, it does have momentum, it does have drive, it does have clarity. So that's really good. I just don't want you burning out. Options. So you're starting to see, so in this kind of High Priestess kind of fluid, airy energy, as you sort of know and you're picking up on what other people are thinking, you're starting to see more. Because when I was saying, you're operating on that very fluid kind of dreamlike state, you're starting to pick up on what's beyond the veil in terms of opportunities, ideas, options, way forwards, and it's allowing you to kind of really feel that sense of freedom. I would just be a bit careful. It's a wonderful place to be in, but if you stay up there too long, you need something to kind of root you as well, so that you can implement this beautiful, malleable, clay-like but soft, invisible energy. It's a good idea to try and root it so that it can actually manifest in the real world around you. Okay, anything else for the High Priestess, please? Thank you. Knight of Cups. So maybe it also could be, because you've got the Knight, sorry, I'm just going rather than explaining it. Right, Knight of Cups twice. Okay, so whatever was crossing this energy before with the Lovers, that romantic gesture forward, it could also be a third party situation, not a third party situation, but perhaps someone else who's come in as well. It does feel like this, okay, how do I explain this? For example, you meet someone new, you have a roller coaster love affair, and it's wonderful. Everything is operating on a very high, excitable level, okay? When that happens, you're so, let's say, loved up, shall we say. Now, you could be loved up with a project. I'm just using this as an example. When you're in that energy, sometimes, or what it tends to do, which is amazing, is it starts you to really open your eyes to new possibilities, because you're starting to see how something might develop and continue in the future in a multitude of different ways, because you're no longer restricted and limited by your own path. You've got someone else in the sphere here, and you can have that dreamlike quality with somebody else. So it's almost as if, like, say you're with somebody and you're dreaming together new ideas, things that you want to do, and it's so exciting, and that dreamlike quality. So it could be to do with that. Well, it seems very strong to do with that. And if it relates, if the new love doesn't relate to you, it's to do with that new idea, that new sense of creativity. You really are kind of thinking, well, how can I really take that energy, move with love, and look at all the options. It's very dreamlike, very nice. And it just seems like it's one person really that's impacting your environment at the moment, apart from the King of Swords, you know, that person you have to kind of answer to. But there we go. Right, 8 of Swords. Why do you feel stuck? Judgment. What else do we have? Sometimes it's resurrection. Judgment call, maybe needing to make a decision, maybe even waiting on a decision, maybe from that King of Swords. What else do we have, please, for the 8 of Swords? What else do we have for the King? Knight. Said correctly. 8 of Swords, please. Thank you. Oh, we got 2 more. There we go. Knight of Swords and the Hangman. Yes, you see, the Hangman was actually one to jump up before I started doing these for the 8 of Swords over there. Okay. There is, it feels like this, let's just call this stagnancy and overload, thought overload, analysis paralysis, is either regarding a decision that you're waiting on, okay, to come through. So a decision, a judgment that's coming through with the Knight of Swords, which talks about communications and fast communication, but there's a lag. You're still waiting on it. You're still waiting on it. For others of you, the conflict could be that you need to make the judgment call because there's a lot of communication going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, but you're not actually 100% sure you want to go ahead. Okay, and then you put yourself in the hangman position to try and suspend yourself from a different angle, see things from a different angle, and give it the time it deserves before you impulsively react. But I do feel with this energy here, it's like it's fast and then it's slow, fast and then slow, okay, and it's a waiting. So it feels like you feel a little bit trapped because you feel like you have no forward momentum, particularly if you've been waiting with the King of Swords to give you the green light to go ahead on something, on a project or creative venture. As it relates to perhaps a person, it could be that maybe now you had that conversation of, after a month, because the end of the month, okay, now the judgment call is, okay, do we take this to the next level? And the communication comes in, and perhaps the person is a bit slow coming back to you, or perhaps you don't want to, you're a bit slow going back to that person. You feel like you can't move forward. But really and truly, I do feel like it is a depletion of this energy, okay? So what I would say is, if there's any way that you can ground yourself throughout the month, root all that fiery energy into the ground as well as feel it, then you may not feel so burnt out come that time. Because when we are burnt out and we're waiting on something, we're waiting on a decision, we're waiting on a judgment call, even if we're waiting for our own one, when you're burnt out, you're not even ready to handle it yet, okay? Because you're burnt out. So if you are able to manage your energy throughout the month, you might avoid this 8 of Swords energy and be more in an area of patience. Because sometimes when you're completely depleted, you just want an answer one way or another. You just want to know where you stand, right? but sometimes what the universe is actually doing is slowing things down to allow you to stop, recover, heal, get out of that space so that you can be in more receptive mode to really see things with this Ace of Swords that you picked up on in the beginning. So it's activating that. Very interesting read, I have to say. Okay, right. What does Leo need to know for January, please, for their highest good? What else do they need to know, please? Thank you. Yes, chaos and conflict. There we go. Right. So it does feel like this, all this excitement over here can feel a little chaotic because it's very, very high excitement, very exciting. Okay. And perhaps you have had a period of, let's say, slowness or dullness or a bit monotony and just kind of plodding away. So as soon as this comes in, it's really exciting, but it brings about an element of chaos within you, and there may come a little bit of conflict with regards to this, because I don't know why, but I've been drawn to here with the King of Swords, and maybe a little bit of conflict of, oh, what was that? Hang on. Conflict of interests with the King of Swords. So it could be a little bit of conflict of interest with the King of Swords, and that's the kind of thing. But as long as, if you can root yourself or ground yourself in any way possible, it might enable you to just sort of sit firm and not react. Because when you operate on this level, any excitement is high level, any anger is high level. It's all like raw, you know, and it can easily turn the other way if you're not careful. For the most part, I do feel like it's really lovely and really dreamlike and wonderful, but there may be some conflict that comes up as a result of all that high energy. So just to be mindful of that. Okay, can we please get another card for Leo for their highest good? What do they need to know for January, please? You've got the power. Right, power is absolutely on your side. I mean, I really don't, I can't say it any other way. I mean, you've got the ignition here, right? Power is definitely supporting you at the moment. You've got more power in you than you realize, so utilize it very carefully. It's raining, it's sort of, I mean, the clouds are full, but the lightning is striking. So strike while the iron is hot, for sure, absolutely. But just ensure that you kind of allow yourself to breathe in between that. You've got a lot of power coming to you. It's like you're surging with all this energy, which is amazing. But I would, again, just make sure that you know when you change a plug and you've got the red and the blue, and then you've got the earth, the is it the red, the green, and then you've got the other, you got the third plug when you're changing the plug inside, and it's the earth plug. Okay, you need to grab that earth plug. You need to grab that earth wire there and just make sure that that's in the fuse. Otherwise your fuse is going to go out. You don't want your fuse to go out, because then that's when the chaos and conflict arises. So basically, you have so much power this month. Use it, strike while the iron's hot, use it to the best of your ability. Try not to burn out. What does Leo need to know for January, please? Thank you. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Ooh, okay, so this is also very, very big. You are you're finding that freedom again, and that's what's happening with this. You're starting to open yourself up even more, even if you naturally feel quite free and like a free spirit. There are still ties that are keeping you kind of connected to, whether they be people, situations, institutions, whichever way that resonates with you. There is still always certain ties. Now, I do feel that this month, as you're charging forward and I mean, there's no mistake that I'm using very electrical analogy and terminology here, because the power is definitely, that electrical force is definitely behind you with that fire energy as well. This freedom that you are experiencing, this dreamlike quality, is allowing you to kind of really close off certain decisions you've made about yourself and how it relates to other people. So basically what you're doing is you're unleashing the power, is another one, but you are unleashing those ties. You are making yourself, you are freeing yourself up in a much higher level. And it's not just a cutting the cord of a friend that no longer resonates with you. This is big. This is like soul contracts. This is soul patterns, limiting patterns, limiting beliefs, patterns, habits, all those sorts of things, as well as even past lives as well. Because the people that are very significant in our lives, chances are we've known them in previous lives in a different capacity, right? And you're at that point now where you actually have the power to just let it go. So any conflicts and chaos that arises, use your freedom-like, dream-like energy to let it go and release it, because it's not so dense anymore in your reality. Phew, that's big, Leo. So there we go. I hope that resonated. If it did, please do like, subscribe, comment and share, and best of luck for the month ahead. Don't burn out, okay? And I'll see you next month. Take care.